Good morning and welcome to today's verse. Today's verse comes to us from Psalm 27, verse 14, and it reads, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." David had learned in times of trouble to pray, to seek the Lord's face, because he realized how dependent he had become on the Lord's provision. And I wonder today how we come to a point that we are very dependent upon the Lord's provision, that we will seek his face first. And so David would seek the Lord's face, his presence, and his provision. And in doing so, through humble submission, he would wait on the Lord for the Lord to move. And that's what he encourages us to do at the conclusion of this great psalm, is that we are to wait on the Lord, be of good courage. And he knows that God will strengthen our hearts. Waiting doesn't mean that we just sit idly by, but we have this great anticipation, and anticipation leads to hope, that we have anticipation and hope that God will do the very best thing for us. But you know what? When we are waiting on the Lord, that means we're waiting for God's perfect timing. God has a time in mind to fulfill his purpose and his plan. And the outcome of what we pray for may not be accomplished in the manner that we think it ought to be accomplished in. Take Lazarus, for example. When the Lord heard that Lazarus was dead, he was away on a journey with his disciples, and he heard that Lazarus was dead. He didn't immediately stop what he was doing and go and heal Lazarus from his sickness, but rather he waited until Lazarus was asleep, or that Lazarus was dead and buried. And so when he arrived, he raised Lazarus from the dead. What was the greater purpose? People would realize that he had power over death. They would realize that he was the resurrection and the life. In him, we have life, and we have life eternal. And so I thank God that when God moves, he moves in a way that will accomplish the greater good for his purpose that is so much bigger than anything that we can see. Our responsibility is to pray. Our responsibility is to wait. Our responsibility is to anticipate and to trust and to believe that God will do the very best thing for us and do the very best thing according to his will and his purpose. Therefore, again, as David concludes this great psalm, he says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he will strengthen your heart." To God be the glory for the great things that he has done. I pray that you would meditate upon this verse, that this verse would be a word of encouragement, that it would be a word that would strengthen your heart, that it would be a word that would stir your hope, and knowing that God is able to do what God says he's going to do. To God be the glory for the great things he has done. I pray that you would just have a wonderful day as you go throughout this day, and then tune in again tomorrow as we consider today's verse.